What's up, everybody? Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And if you could subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and watch the video from the beginning to the end in order to help us in the algorithm to reach more people who are interested in this topic. There is something that you are going to notice that will blow your mind if you don't know this already. In Matthew chapter 11, verse 25, Jesus says the Father is Lord of heaven and earth. And this is profound. This is something significant because we see Jesus address the Father with this title of being Lord over heaven and earth. But elsewhere, we learn the Father uses this title to the Son. So what this tells us is that Lord of heaven and earth is not just one spirit. This is a reference to a title that is possessed by more than one spirit, at least by the Father, and at least by the Son. For example, we'll read it, and then we'll compare it with Hebrews chapter 1. At that time, Jesus answered and said, I thank thee, O Father. He's praying to the Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, so it seemed good in thy sight. So we learn Jesus is praying to the Father. He's not praying to himself. The Son is not the Father. Jesus is praying to the Father and calls the Father Lord of heaven and earth. Okay. When you go to Hebrews chapter 1, we learn the relationship between the Father and the Son. We learn the Son is exalted above all else, all creation, all created living things. It says, God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son. So Jesus, just like the prophets, is a messenger. And it says, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. He didn't do any of those things by the prophets, but through his Son. And it says his Son, not the prophets, but his Son, being the brightness of his glory, the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high. The prophets didn't do that. The Son did. Being made so much better than angels, who? The Son, as he hath by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. For unto which of the angels said he, the Father, at any time, thou art my Son? So here's the Father speaking. Thou art my Son. This day have I begotten thee. And again, I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son. So Jesus is exalted above the prophets. He's also exalted above the angels. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, and let all the angels of God worship him. Jesus is exalted above the angels. We already read he's exalted above the prophets. He's also exalted above the angels. It's saying God's Son is not an angel. God's Son is exalted above the angels. And of the angels, he saith, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire, but unto the Son. So now we are addressing the Father's relationship with the Son. The Father spoke concerning the Son, said, let all the angels of God worship him. But this is him speaking about the Son. But now we see him speaking to the Son. No longer about him, but to him. But unto the Son he saith, thy throne, O God. So what did he address Jesus as here? He's speaking to the Son, and what does he call him? He calls him God. Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. So there's no getting around it. He addresses the Son, and he calls him God. Thou hast loved righteousness and hated iniquity. Therefore God, even thy God, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. And here we come. Hebrews chapter 1 verses 10 through 12 correlate with what we read in Matthew chapter 11 verse 25. Jesus addressed the Father as Lord of heaven and earth, but now we come to the Father, who addressed the Son already as God, above the prophets, above the angels. And just as the Son acknowledged the Father as Lord of heaven and earth, the Father acknowledges the Son as a Lord of both heaven and earth. And thou, Lord, in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thine hands. This is the Father speaking to the Son. If you remember, the Father began speaking to the Son in verse 8, where he says, unto the Son he saith, thy throne, O God. This is the Father speaking to the Son. When it says thy, that's the Father speaking directly to the Son. Verse 9, thou hast left. Verse 10, and thou, Lord. This is still the Father speaking to the Son. He says to the Son that the Son in the beginning has laid a foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of his hands. He says, they shall perish, but thou remainest. The Father still speaking to the Son. And they all, a reference to the heavens, shall wax old as doth a garment. Verse 12, and as a vesture shalt thou fold them up, and they shall be changed. But thou art the same, and thy years shall not fail. Jesus outlives creation, the creation that he created, the heavens and the earth that he created. He will exist beyond them. They will go out of existence, but Jesus won't. Because Jesus is the Lord who created the heavens and the earth. What does that make Jesus? Lord of heaven and earth. But what did Jesus address the Father as in Matthew chapter 11, verse 25? The Lord of heaven and earth. So we learn, are there two Lords of heaven and earth? What we learn is that there is a title, and the title is Lord of heaven and earth. And that title is held by at least two, by the Father and his Son. The Son says it to the Father says it to the Son. What are your thoughts about that? Did you know that? Something very interesting, huh? Reading these statements from the book of Matthew, going through the gospel account, seeing these profound things, and so making videos on correlations in the Bible that back up the things that we have written, and revealing, though, some gems of the New Testament. What are your thoughts about that? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did Jesus address the Father as Lord of heaven and earth? Yes. But do you believe the Father here is addressing the Son, Jesus, as Lord of heaven and earth? What are your thoughts about that? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below.